Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
This is the last place that Layla Santinello was seen. Witnesses actually saw her at this hotel and she was distraught. We know she slept in the woods somewhere here. The fence, I see the fence over here. That just is something that I've seen. Look at this. Holy crap, look. We can follow her path. Somebody walked through here. Look at the way they say, somebody walked through it this way, not that way. Somebody's been back here. I wonder if her boyfriend came back here looking for her. If you know something. Summer Wells went missing June 15th, 2021 and hasn't been seen again. We are in the backwoods of Tennessee. We are here on Light Hollow Road. We're a little further down the road than we once were. We're just checking out this area. This is one area that we never really researched or really searched during the last 2.5 years that we've been covering the case. We followed this case from the very beginning to find out any information related to Summer Wells, where she may be, and who may be responsible for her disappearance. It has taken us on a almost 3-year journey here in Tennessee, Hawkins County, Tennessee, as we search for answers. This is where we heard Candace Bly was the day that Summer Wells disappeared.
the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
Has been rocked to its core.
Do not let their lives be defined by how they died, but instead remember them for the joy they spread and the fun times they shared while they lived.
While we were at the memorial last night for the foreign slain victims, again, this happened on November 13th, 2022, where 4 University of Idaho students were slain in their home just off campus while they slept.
We don't know how long this investigation will take, and we don't know the why behind this horrific act.
We were getting reports that this was a targeted attack and very personal. This is one of the spots that law enforcement was telling was a key place of interest for people to be looking out and finding out whether or not people had videography, photos, any kind of incidences, evidence of any sort at this location. It has now made more people feel unsafe and fear this community because a person still hasn't been brought to justice for this gruesome attack on these beautiful souls that attended the University of Idaho. I'm here at the Moscow Police Department. We are looking for other information here, primarily some of the activities that went on in that house. We're also checking for the Sigma Chi fraternity house. We want to know what was going on over there. This is the Sigma Chi, the back of the Sigma Chi fraternity house. It is the largest fraternity house on that road. All right. And you're right there. I'm outside of Washington State University right now. Why in the world would I be out at Washington State University? It's because this is another college, another university that is in close proximity to the University of Idaho. One of the things that screamed out to me is a lot of people are believing that this person is a college-age student. This is just one of those things where we're just saying, is it possible? Yeah, it is possible. Well, good morning, my beautiful coffee beans. It's nice to see you. Welcome to Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. It's nice to see you this beautiful Tuesday. I'm not going to tell you where I'm at, but you can see by the poor lighting, you probably can figure it out. So who had an opportunity to watch the cyber sleuths? While you guys are answering that, I'm going to go through. Jen, it's me, Jen. Thank you. Good morning. God bless you. Skittles, it's nice to see you here this wonderful morning. Sweet Misery, it's nice to see you, my love. Reminding all of us to go out there and give us a thumbs up. Okay, that's the heat. I was wondering if it was starting to rain again. The Lord have mercy. We had so much rain yesterday, literally tons and tons, buckets and buckets of rain. It's nice to see you, Jules. Good morning. Gigi for life. It's nice to see you as well. Net L is up in the house this morning. And we've got Cool Gamer. It's nice to see you. Our beautiful, sweet Misery. Great job. You wouldn't know it by all the pre-party, right? The pre-party, everybody's saying, oh my God, it's awful, right? Nobody had seen it yet. Good morning, Mary. It's nice to see you. Josie, the real me too. Miss Robin up in the house, our resident defense attorney, Big Mac Mike. Crowd goes wild. Crowd goes wild. We'll need you on the Brian Koberger case. Elfig, it's nice to see you. Good morning, love. Good morning. And I've got the throw Sweet Miseries up there, I think. No, I think I did show yours. But either way, I wanted to make sure. So it's nice to see you guys. Thank you for the love and the support. Bookworm in the house. It's nice to see you as well. And I believe we are just about Betty fan up in the house. Love you, my friend. Love you. The Edit twins. Nice to see you. I heard about it, didn't watch. Well, shame on you. Boo! Boo! No. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Old Rusty up in the house. It's nice to see you. Good morning, everyone. If you don't know where you're at, you might want to change the show. I'm Bullhorn Betty. I'm the worst person on YouTube. Anyways, guys, so I thought we now know that it's been released. All 3 episodes have been released. Now I can talk, right? Talk. So it was a great experience. Good morning, Victoria. It was a great experience. A lot of people, we are at the mercy. We didn't get to see it until everybody saw it. Like, I was watching it this morning for the first time. That's why we're late to our coffee club, is because I wanted to finish it. I wanted to see, did they make us look bad? Lucy is a great director and a producer. She was in the house. I got to meet her personally. She was in my house. Right. Just a lovely person. And I know that our bellies were all knotted up and stuff like that. How this was going to be, but she does amazing work. And when I saw her work, I knew she was going to do amazing. She's a great documentarian. She's been doing this for a long time. She did another documentary that I absolutely adored. First time I ever heard of her was Our Father. And so, but we're always nervous because, and a twin's like, okay, Betty, I didn't watch it, but shut up. Here you go. I'm just joking. The Edit twins, if you received your Bullhorn Betty gift membership, please tell the Edit twins, thank you so much. Thank you, and God bless you. Also, this reminds me, our beautiful Southern Grammy Wolf. I didn't know this. I'm not trying to tell her business. I just found out yesterday. I don't know how I missed it. I get so busy. I'm working so much. It's hard for somebody that's lazy. I need to get a job, right? I gotta get over it. Move on, right? Anyways, I just been so busy here, and I didn't realize Southern Grammy Wolf had been in an accident. And so we need to give her, she's a family member, coffee clubber. We need to give her some prayers, just love and support. She's, it's just, I didn't know. So God bless you. If you're watching from your hospital bed, we love you here. And we're definitely praying that you pull through and have a speedy recovery. And God bless you for everything that you do. And she's a great supporter of this channel as well. And not only that, just a great supporter of her community, right? She's the one that's going and getting, CASA or whatever it was. And, really trying to do better for herself as well as her community. So just a lot of prayers for her. So getting back to this. So they were in the house, but we were at their mercy. And of course, we've said some pointed things about media. Now, I want to be very, very clear so media can quit being butthurt about my conversation. First of all, I don't really care for mainstream media that much because they ask permission, right? I'm an American citizen, okay? This is the way I feel. I'm not asking permission to speak. Okay, I'm not going to do it. It's just it's not ingrained. Even when I was younger, ask my mother. I didn't know how to shut the trap. Okay, mouth of the South is what I was deemed at 2 years old. If that doesn't tell you anything about Bullhorn Betty, mouth of the South, right? True story. And so that's what I don't like about mainstream media, because I know how it works. This is my biggest problem. They don't come with the stories. They don't come with, like, even the political stuff, because they don't want to demonize this person, because they may get in the office and they're going to have that interview with them. And this person may say, I ain't meeting with them. Right. So they're not as harsh as they should be. I don't care. Meet with me. Don't meet with me. I don't give a rat's patootie whether you do or not. Okay. I'm going to run with the story, whether you talk to me or not. If it's the truth, it's the truth. Period. So I just, we did kind of, we were pointed in some respects to mainstream media, but we're not talking about the Brian Entons, the Court TVs. We're talking about more in line with the local news. Those are the mainstream media, local news that we as citizens, cyber sleuths and stuff, are competing with. Okay, those are the people that we're competing with. We're pretty much, no matter how you look at it, replacing those. I mean, the news industry is, and I know this for a fact, the news industry, the local news industries are getting smaller and smaller. They're having to reduce. It's just, it is what it is. There's an evolution, and a lot of these smaller news organizations don't have the name recognition necessary to carry them on social media. As their businesses are going to be closing. I mean, I guarantee, there's going to be a lot of brick and mortar news organizations across this country over the next decade and so forth that are going to be closing up, because it's all going to be going to an online platform versus a brick and mortar studio. There's going to be big studios for those types of people, so they can rent them and stuff like it. The whole dynamic's going to change, in my opinion, over the next foreseeable future. So I expect some news organizations to not, have a lot of nice things to say about us cyber sleuths, right? And that's okay. That's okay. But you would have thought it was horrible. Like, I was dreading watching. I'm like, based on like Daily Beast, it's like, man, how far, like, even Washington Post, literally, guys, come on, how far are you going to stretch this? Like, now you're just making stuff up. Now you just discredited yourself because you came out with these stories before everybody got to watch it. Now everybody got to watch it. It's like, well, damn, that wasn't bad, And they talked about a lot. We opened up a lot about the finances. We opened up about our past. We really covered a lot of the stuff. But I have to think that, it was marketed well. We knew the audience. I think it was just great. It was really great. And I have to say, Olivia did an amazing job. She really did. I just give her an A++++. She went all over the country with this production team to get some of those shots in front of the house before it was demolished. She was there with the production team at one of his court hearings. It was, she did a very, very good job. A lot of people, do you know who's in it? Do you know? Yes, they took clips in their trailer of me protesting out in front of the laundries. They took clips of Olivia from Georgia. They talked about, we even had some people, because, even look into to JLR. Okay. So let's just remove this illusion that they didn't know who they were filming. Okay. A Paramount Plus is going to come into some stranger's house without doing a stick of research on the people. Yeah. Oh, okay. Got it. But you know what? That was spread spread to the small little few thousand of the masses here on YouTube. I'm sorry. I can't help but to poke fun, because they're becoming so stupid and irrelevant at this point. Like, literally stupid and irrelevant. And I'm supposed to not be mean because, oh my God, they're going to talk about me. Well, you always do, whether I say mean shit or not. So what's the point, right? What's the point? I thought it was an amazing, I thought it was amazing. I really did. I think it really embodied, it showed a lot of stuff. It showed the amount of work that goes into, at least for some of us that do this. You know, there are some people that, you know, you saw it on the screen, like, they're just making stuff up as they go. If they hear it, they think it, they believe it, and they just ran with it. And it really does cause a lot of problems in this. But you know what? Bullhorn Betty wasn't part of the problem. And that's something that they're going to have to deal with. I mean, to be honest with you, we did amazing work, absolutely amazing work on this particular case, as far as hitting it out of the park, not going with the masses of, you know, accusatory and going after the kids in and around that were already dealing with so much of losing 4 freaking friends, and then having people coming after them that didn't even know who the hell they were, saying, you had to have done it. You know, there had to have been a group that just came out and just tampered all that crap down. And there was a group on TikTok, there was a group on YouTube that went out there that really studied this case, that fed information back. We did the best we could as far as making sure our audience knew, don't go into all these rabbit holes. We didn't go into it. You never saw Dot on my channel, right? You never saw Washington State Mom on my channel. There were reasons why those things never came on my channel. Were they click and viewy? You know, would I've gotten a lot of people here? Yes. And it irritates me. Like, how do you corroborate that? There's a way, because we can, right? We can corroborate it. If we can corroborate it, certainly other people out there can corroborate it. There's reasons why we didn't bring stuff to this channel. There's reasons why we didn't have those discussions. It was a nothing burger. I'm not going to spend my time. We had a case. We had 4 victims. We had families of these victims reaching out to us, just trying to get answers for what happened. And we went out there and did our absolute best to advocate. You know, this was not everybody's like, oh, you were trying to solve the crime. No, not really. We were trying to get as much information out there as possible, yes. But I can tell you immediately, standing on that, and anybody that has been with me for any significant time can tell you that we didn't go into, we brought up the possibility of the people being near her being possible suspects in it. Other than that, broad general allegation and talking about specificity, we didn't really engage in all of that on this channel. And when we went out there to the house, literally one of the very first things I said to my audience is, you can basically forget anybody that's in and around these kids. It is not them. It wasn't even the vibe, not even close to being the vibe you got off that house. I knew the minute I looked at that house and walked to the back of that house, I knew it without a shadow of a doubt that the person that's responsible for this is not on any of our radar. It was literally night and day. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Right then, right there, I knew 100% nobody we were looking at had anything to do with this crime. I don't know where that came from, but you know what? When it's that strong in me, it's that strong in me. And the bottom line was, we knew right then and there, people, you know, we had debates about, you know, who could have done it. I know we've had debates in here, and some people even got their feelings hurt because I just was not engaging that these kids were responsible. I just wasn't doing it. But as soon as I saw that house, I knew. And then we came back that first trip, and I felt so devastated because I remember just thinking, I knew it had to have been somebody there. I knew it had to be somebody right there. And it wasn't. It wasn't the kids. It wasn't the RSOs. I mean, we knocked on RSOs' doors. I mean, many people, there's a lot of stuff. And the reason why the RSO footage is not on my channel, everybody says, receipts. No, I'm not putting it on my channel. I will tell you that we went and knocked on RSO's doors. They had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with it. I'm not putting their face on my channel. For what purpose? To embarrass them and humiliate them even more? I mean, they have to register. Some of these have to register for the rest of their lives. They had nothing to do with it. they have a right to live. So if anybody wants to wonder why that never made it or debuted on our channel, it's not that we didn't do it. It's just that, in all fairness, if I really thought that the person was responsible or had information and wasn't being truthful, yeah, I'd probably put them on blast. But, you know, when you have a person that's willing to open up to you and talk to you, a perfect stranger, and expect you to honor your request, basically, if we tell you the truth, you're not going to blast me. Okay, you got that. Was it recorded? It was. All of our interactions are always recorded. But again, never will I ever put that up here unless absolutely necessary. And it was just not necessary in this. But I can promise you, it was looked into. It was looked into. So nothing, even one that, like, literally, I was standing on this particular RSO's balcony. Like, it's not a balcony. Well, it kind of is, but not. It's one of those things that have a multiple tier property. And so it's kind of like the one you have, but instead of the stairs being inside of the home, like at the 1122 King Road, the bottom level is separated from the top level, and the stairs are on the outside of the house, not the inside of the house. So you have a clear defined first level and a clear defined second level. And so the second level where this guy lived, actually, you literally, from that second level, you could look straight and you could see their house. It was creepy. Okay, I will be honest with you, but I can promise you, once I talked to the RSO at that house, that went away. There was no creep left in it, because this was a situation that happened many years ago. He was 18, she was 16. It was a situation like that. It was verifiable to be true. So again, why am I going to rock this man's life because of something he did 20 years ago? It's not going to happen. Is he an RSO? Yes, he is. Is he somebody that I deemed a threat for this crime? No, it's not. And was he truthful with me? Yes, he was. Did he want to talk to me? Not really, but he did, and he opened up. So there you have it. So let's just go over a few more of these little videos that we have, bringing us back to where we are today. I'm just going to walk you through. We've got 1, 2, 3, about 4 more videos, and they're just short videos.
Hey guys, as you guys can see, we're back in front of the Idaho 41122 King Road here in Moscow, Idaho. We are covering the case of Maddie Mogen, Zaina Kernodle, Haley Gonzalez, and Ethan Chapin.
4 University of Idaho students were slain in their sleep on November 13th, 2022, in the early morning hours at their off-campus housing on the outskirts of the University of Idaho. Brian Koberger was named the suspect in the crime on December 30th, and we had an opportunity to be outside the home when the cleaning crew showed up. This is the same day that the memorial for Maddie Mogen and Kaylee Gonzalez was going on in Coeur d'Alene. We are grieving right along with the family as they go through this process of realizing the home where they were brutally murdered is going to be demolished on December 28th.
This house is still an active crime scene behind me. You see the yellow tape. You see the law enforcement officer still keeping this crime scene secure.
Believe that it's been over a year since we learned of the Idaho 4 murders. This is about 4 University of Idaho students that were killed in their off-campus housing on the outskirts of the University of Idaho on November 13th in the early morning hours between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. This case perplexed and confused many people that had been following it from the very beginning. So much so that a lot of people speculated who may be responsible for the slaying of these 4 students. However, on December 30th, we learned of the person responsible, or who the state of Idaho believes is responsible for the slaying. His name is Brian Koberger. Brian Koberger was a PhD student at Washington State University, and it was very perplexing to many people involved how this stranger could have murdered these victims in their sleep. We learned through the affidavit that he had been to this property at 1122 King Road 12 different occasions prior to the incident of November 13th. As I said, we went to this community. Many know that Chronicles of Olivia and myself made 2 tours to this area for a significant amount of time to learn about the case, learn about the victims, and learn about the people of interest involved in this case. As soon as we arrived on this location, we knew that the person that was responsible for this heinous crime was none of the people we were looking at. This case has wound up in a tailspin that has captured this nation and around the world because many people cannot grasp why these 4 students lay dead. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding this home, the home these 4 students thrived in, lived in, enjoyed life in, and had the university experience in. Just recently, around December, we learned the fate of the home. And as heartbreaking as it is, we realized the university wanted it to go. And there is still a killer that is responsible for the 4 slain people inside. This was a very difficult case to cover, and our hearts broke for all the victims' families, and all of their friends. The students that went to the university were shocked by the revelation of 4 students being slain in their sleep. It scared many parents across the country that had children going to the University of Idaho. It is heartbreaking that the University of Idaho decided to demolish this home, the last remaining piece of evidence against Brian Koberger, and many people's heart broke. This case will forever change many people, many students, and many faculty members' lives. Many people from across the world also felt the pain of this loss. 4 beautiful students gone entirely too soon, and we still don't even know why. Since this time, the house has been scheduled for demolition, breaking many people's hearts. I have to think the world cried the day that this house was being demolished. Many people believe this house should have stood until after the trial. The university came out and told the world that it was the community that it needs to heal. It was the students that need to heal. But is it really? Because when I looked into their allegations that the community and students wanted this house removed, I could not find a single post, a single demand, or a lot of letters coming to their university demanding the removal of this home. As a matter of fact, a lot of legal professionals came out and actually campaigned against the removal of this home. Never mind that 3 of the 4 families begged the university not to demo this home. They know it needs to come down, but they really wanted to make sure it waited until after trial. So there was a lot of heartbreak, a lot of cries across this world, demanding this house stay where it was. Yet here we are, as we mourned the loss of this home, because we know this is the biggest piece of evidence in this case. We seek justice for the victims. We seek justice for Kaylee Gonzalez. We seek justice for Maddie Mogan. We seek justice for Xana Kernodle. And we seek justice for Ethan Chapin. This is a sad day that we have to realize the destruction of 1122 King Road. Again, the biggest piece of evidence against Bryan Kohberger. It was a sad day as we watched them take this house away, piece by piece. We send prayers of strength to all the victims' families, and their friends. Your sacrifice was far too great. Children grow up, they go off to a university, and for these 4 families, the worst nightmare imaginable has come true, where their children are sent home, but they're sent home in a box. Let's never forget the true gravity of this crime and what it really took from this world. It took Kaylee Gonzalez, Maddie Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. All amazing, bright, beautiful souls that deserve to make their mark on this world. May each of them rest in peace, and may justice be swift. If you have been affected by this crime, we ask you to please seek counseling at this time. This is a hard reality for many of us, and we want everyone to be safe. As cliche as this sounds, may God have mercy on Bryan Kohberger's everlasting soul.
So that was my tribute, basically to the house, to the victims. It's just, this is horrible. And I can't imagine what in the world would make a human being do this to anybody else, to cause this kind of pain to anyone. I think that's why we are so interested in it. I truly don't believe that we understand. I certainly do not. There's a lot of things I don't understand. And this is always perplexing to me, how some people just they have lack of humanity. They have no value for human life, or how valuable each individual person is in their very unique way, whether you like them or not. And I don't know what would make Bryan do this. Do I think it was because they were female? Maybe. I think more so because he is just this monster inside. I think he didn't know who he was. I think, and I've said this so many times, I just truly believe that this man knew something was wrong with him. I think he knew it back in high school. I think that's what the whole substance abuse thing was. He was just trying to calm this monster down inside of him. He didn't know what was going on. He didn't understand it because he's probably been taught that these feelings are bad, and he's having these feelings. So he was trying to, in my opinion, because you can't find, usually when I was talking about this before, I was talking about how most people that go through this drug, substance abuse era in their life have some significant family issues. But that's for a normal person. What about the issues inside of you? For example, like a serial killer has certain brain wave activity that they've been able to scientifically identify. And so it makes you wonder if at this time that's what was going on with him, because you start seeing the changes, especially mental health changes
in your teenage and late, in your 20s, for especially boys. So you kind of put these little nuggets of information together. Doesn't mean that these are the right nuggets for this case. Of course not. It's just thinking outside of the box and trying to understand. And so that's what I'm putting together. And I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe this whole substance abuse era that he went through was quieting it down. And then he got better. And I think he kind of felt like, whether he knew that this is what he was trying to do or not, I think he felt compelled to, better himself. And he was interested in criminology. Maybe to find out what makes him beat, what makes him tick. Maybe something called him that he thought that he would find some answers in here. And the reason why I say this is because he studied under a famed book author that just happens to talk about serial killers. Then there was his infatuation that we learned through some of the jobs he has with certain serial killers, one being Danny Rolling, which is what inspired the Scream thriller movies, that series that came out on the big screen. You start putting all this stuff together, and then the one kind of key piece of evidence of the exploration of trying to find himself, for me, in this theory, and why I gravitate to this theory more so, is it's the questionnaire that he sent out. That questionnaire, in normal sense, you wouldn't, I don't know, think of it as, I'm sure when he was working on it with his teacher or something, him being in the criminology class, it probably didn't really have an effect on them. They're probably thinking, okay, well, this is kind of okay. Why not? Right? They probably had never sent a questionnaire out like that. And maybe they're like, okay, this is actually something that's more exploratory. And then it was questions directed about choosing victims and how it made them feel. When you compare this to the crime that Brian Koberger committed, it just gives you a very off-putting, eerie, ominous feeling within you. I mean, you can't help it. And then you look at this, and it's like, this is what sealed the fate for me, thinking that this was all him trying to find himself. And this was back when he was in Pennsylvania. And I think he finally realized what he was and who he was. And I think he wanted to explore it a little more. And I think in his mind, because this is a guy that thinks, he's a smart man, so he's going to be analyzing this stuff himself. And I think that's why he picked Washington State University, is because I think it was the furthest way away from his house. There's plenty of contingency plans that you could go on to get yourself out of that community and back home many thousands of miles away. Illness, you just don't want to be away from your family anymore. It's too far away. It's too expensive. There's so many other little plans that you can fall back on to get yourself out of that area, so you're not deemed a suspect, so to speak. So I feel like he analyzed these things because he's an analytical person. You can tell in his behaviors. You can tell even at that traffic stop. Remember that traffic stop where he ran? He was out in the box. It was actually in Moscow. It was a Moscow sheriff's or whatever deputy or officer, and it was a female. Remember? And he kind of argues with her a little bit. Sorry, I'm eating a banana. I was craving banana, so I had them delivered. I had bananas delivered. But he was there, and if you watch his behavior, as he's talking to her, he literally is analyzing her behavior. I don't know if you guys noticed that. He looks down, he looks up, he looks kind of down. He's kind of analyzing how she's going to react to him. He's very calm. He's very polite, but you can see it's almost robotic, in my opinion. I don't know. Yeah, he kept questioning the officer. Exactly. I am absolutely convinced this man acted alone. This man didn't really have friends. People that were around him thought he was weird. Even the people that he did hang out with, and they knew something. It's like almost like they felt like something wasn't right with him. It's like everybody kind of knew, even his school, the way his behaviors at school, his behaviors with the other females, his behaviors when he's out, his behaviors when he's out, when he's not drink. This guy was just, an odd duck, but he was mildly odd that it wasn't so off-putting. Like it was at times, like it was bite-sized pieces, but nothing to raise major red flags. Because let's face it, if major red flags were screaming from this man, as soon as this murder, 10 minutes away, this quadruple homicide 10 minutes away happened, everybody would have been saying, oh, you need to look at this guy, and it wasn't like that. They had to find this guy through shoe leather investigation, putting the stuff out, having the officers on the grounds be looking for a car, reporting anybody that has a similar car. That's how they found his car. It was literally, according to the probable cause affidavit, which we were not apprised of this at the time. This didn't come out until they submitted the probable cause affidavit, which I think was like right around anywhere between the 4th and the 8th of January, or maybe even later. I can't remember when it was actually filed, but I think it was one of the first documents that was filed against Brian Kohberger was the probable cause affidavit. And what did it? We'll circle back to that. But yeah, I remember what it said. It said 11:29. That's what it said. It said 11:29 was when the officer was like 11:29 at like midnight, right after midnight on 11:29. November 29th. This happened. The crime happened on 11:13. 11:29 was the first time they heard Brian Kohberger's name. Officially in the record that we can see that was in the probable cause affidavit. Now that probable cause affidavit doesn't mean that that's everything they know. So his name may have came up in an investigation. Heck, they may have had a tip where a person said, "Hey, this guy weird. You need to look into him." We don't know. They're not required to put that in the probable cause affidavit. Heck, they're not even required to put half the stuff they put in the proper. Like I said, when I read that was the most thorough. What did I say? That was one of the most thorough probable cause affidavits I had ever seen. And if they can prove 80% of this, 75% of this, he's toast. And I have said that from day one, literally day one. And it looks like this man just might be toast. But when it came to this whole cyber sleuth investigation and stuff like that, we were trying to find out who did it. I mean, let's face it, if we got a win, that's why we went out there, to see if we could get an edge up, to find out. Because when we go out to places, let's face it, people walk up to us. People want to share information with us. I know that, people don't understand how it happens or why we go out there and things like that. It's because people do just walk up to. There's been many people that are in our chat that have been out there with me at some point, whether it be at a protest, whether it be at me just documenting a case, standing out there with me for hours and hours and hours and watch me do my thing. They see how many people walk up to us unprovoked. Just they see us. They want to tell us their story. They know we're looking and seeking the truth. And they just tell us, and they'll corroborate the information. They'll show us, like if they're talking about something that happened on their phone, they will show us. They will show us everything. They will bare their souls to us. They don't want us to, put their face in many cases on the screen. So we obscure their information or something like that, or their face or their voice. But that's why we go out there. So that's why we were there. Of course we want to find out who did it. But more importantly, we want to make sure that we're not pointing a finger at somebody that doesn't deserve it. At the end of the day, no matter what you hear online, people that watch us know that we work very hard to bring you guys truth, not fiction, not for clicks and views. We get our clicks and views by doing it the right way. And that's what is attracting people to us, because there are a lot of bad actors out there. And I think that the bad actors sometimes outshine the good ones. And we all kind of get clumped in together. Do I do some stuff? Yeah, I do just about anything to get attention to the case in a lawful, legal manner. Right? And good Lord, let you hurt a child and not get arrested. You know, I will walk myself right up to that constitutional line in a heartbeat, and I'll stay just on the right side of that. But we'll be there, right? We'll be there with the bullhorn. I need to stop. It seems it would be hard for a secret of that caliber to remain quiet. That's really another reason why this case is so huge, that I just feel anybody would be wanting to do if they were involved even in the slightest bit, or could be, like they moved an article of clothing when they got into Brian Koberger's car to go to school the next day. I feel like everybody and their mother would be coming forward to clear their name, transactional immunity, anything and everything. Like, they don't want to be tied up in a quadruple homicide. They just don't. Who would? That no normal person would do that. Even somebody that didn't mean to do it, to do anything. Like I said, getting in the car and just happened to move a shirt from the front seat to the back seat so you can sit down. I just feel like at this point, somebody would have came forward. And everything that we've learned about Brian Koberger, that we learned from his childhood friends, that we've learned, yes, we've spoke to his childhood friends. We've spoke to classmates of his. There were, I can't remember. Oh, and there were multiple other interviews online that we could see that other people did with different people, like employers and stuff like that. It seemed like this guy is alone. Like, he didn't want to be around anybody. He wanted to be private. He didn't like too many people in his business. He pushed everybody away. That's I think the element people are missing when it comes to Brian Koberger is he didn't want really anybody around him. He pushed a lot of people away and out of his life. A friend that he knew, one of his childhood friends described this horrible behavior where he just ended up bullying him. And he finally had just had enough, that he just never talked to him again. He just didn't want any more to do with him. He was tired. Brian got really arrogant and, started doing the bodybuilding and getting into he described like a night and day, like a Jekyll and Hyde type of person. He said, he was always kind of, pointed anyways, always wanting up, like to one up him. But it really got bad during this certain era where he was just nasty mean to him. And he said he just couldn't deal with it anymore. Oh, thank you. It's me, Jen. Miss Jen has been doing a lot. So God bless you, Jen. Thank you so much. I appreciate all your love and support. No doubt. I thought a series was going to be positive. I'm sorry they did. You like that? I thought the series actually was positive. It was all the people talking before it was released. I thought it was amazing. They did a great job. Everybody's like, oh, it wasn't even hardly about it was all about the Moscow murders, but it was the point was the cyber sleuthing that went behind it, and how we as cyber sleuths feel. We even say that some of these people are bad, do bad things, and they cause problems in these crimes, and they do peddle around misinformation, such as the one girl that went after the professor. Like, the professor, I don't even know where this professor came from. Like, I never even, outside of this creator they never came up in any conversation. I can't even see where anybody in that house even knew who this professor. It was just weird. And now this professor is being accused of doing this and having
an S relationship with one of the victims. I'm like, what? Like, this is the kind of garbage that some of these people were peddling on social media. There was literally no truth to it. I don't even know where it came up. Like, it was crazy. It was just crazy. Where did the driver and lookout come from? He was a loner, exactly, and that's what made it so, like, that whole lead. That's one of the reasons why I didn't bring it on here. Well, one, we were doing it for the documentary, and there's a lot of confidentiality that we have to have, especially on stuff like that with new leads and everything. So it was kind of a legal issue that I couldn't really bring up. But the other thing was, we did look into it, and it just doesn't bode correctly. It doesn't bode well. It does not bode with everything we know about Brian Kohberger. I mean, there's that element talking about, substance and trafficking the stuff and all that. But you look at these kids aren't traffickers. Okay. I'm sorry. Brian is not a trafficker. I don't, the story in and of itself, with all good comment, because this is what people are like, oh, you got to look at. No, I don't have to look. We look into it, but I don't have to look any further than that when I know the facts. If you know the facts are he had a substance abuse, he's more inclined to use than, and they're like, oh, well, he owed money. No. They were trying to say that the kids in the house owed money. Like, Kaylee just bought a Range Rover. Who in the world does she owe money to outside of her college debt and her car payment? I mean, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Like, it comes back down to the whole, my facetious comment about Don Wells and the ninja, right? It's like, yeah, if you put all these different things in here, yeah, does it make sense? Yes. But the reality is those things weren't happening. So you're trying to put something that wasn't happening in order to make your story make sense. It doesn't work. That second person didn't work. Emmett, it didn't work. It was a nothing burger. It sounded to me like a person that was sitting in prison, that was hoping to get somebody to listen to him, give him like some kind of deal, find a way to make some money. Like, he wanted Steve Gonsalves to send him money for him to talk. What? Like, we went out there to look into the case. Do you think I called Steve Gonsalves and said, hey, Steve, I had to spend $5,000 on this trip. Can you please send me the $5,000 so I can go and clear, Jack D's and Jack S's name? What? Like, you do what you do because it's the right thing to do, not because you're being compensated for it. And you know what the crazy thing is? Had that statement not been made from him, I probably would have put money like on his books, just to thank him for, coming, speaking to me. I'm always cautious about ever paying anybody after an interview or before an interview or anything like that, because it just comes down to like an integrity issue. I don't mind raising money for people, but I don't, it's just, it's a thing, if we raise money for a cause like Jennifer Santinello, she's been taking care of Nova Grace, she's got a missing daughter, she's been going through a lot, raise money, perfect. I'm absolutely down with that. But, if for me to go and say, hey, Jen, can I interview you? I'll give you $200. No, that's not going to happen. I've never done that. I'll never do that. I remember there was one person that was running around that absolutely, they were trying to sell their interview. And that was the first thing I said, as I don't pay for interviews. I never have and never will.
If you want to get your story out there, I'm happy to give you the platform to do it. Otherwise, I'm just going to roll with the story as is. Oh, Miss Fletcher. Hey, love bug. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. Did you watch it? I watched it. Yeah, I was so nervous too, because everybody was coming out with all this stuff. You know, I'm like, how would they know? Like, it hasn't been released yet. How do these people, I don't even know what's in this stuff. Like, I know what I said, but they were here for days, you know, and that, I think they got 1, 2, 3, I think they got a half a dozen clips out of days of recording here. So it's like, I didn't even know what they were going to put into this, you know, this video. We talked about a lot. We did a lot of work. So I just didn't know what portions of that they were putting in this. That's part of like even us. That's why we have content for days, is because we just take all the content. We never know what we are going to use. That's why even like 2 years later, we can throw something out that you've never seen before, because we literally just take, but at the time it's not useful. And then later down the road, it might be. So anyways, I was getting nervous about it because we're at their mercy. And I'm thinking, you know, I like Lucy. I liked Lucy. She seemed like she had a great vibe. She was very, she knew what she was recording. She had the guys set up, and she had the questions that they wanted answers to. And we just went down, and then they wanted to kind of see, you know, me and Olivia in action behind the scenes. A lot of people never really get to see the behind the scenes, how we divide stuff, how we work together to get the information. It is quite the process. It's a well-oiled machine at this point. It's really simple for us, right? So young people stuff, we give to Olivia. Right? So if it's a young person that we want to interview, she's the bait. If it's old geezer stuff, I take care of. It's really a simple process. Is it young people stuff to do's, or is it old people stuff to do? Okay, that's how it's divided. Okay, that's how it's divided. Oh, Instagram. How do you use that? Oh, you got this? Perfect. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so you really got to kind of see behind the scenes. You see the messy office, but I work. I mean, that is the office. I mean, we got a water cooler and everything. It's official. We got a water cooler and a messy bookshelf. I mean, what screams office more than that, right? What screams office more than a messy bookshelf and a water jug, right? Too bad when I go to the water jug, I'm gossiping with myself. I got to be honest with you. So how you doing today? Hey, did you hear about Bedhead Betty down the way? Yeah, man, I heard she was a little cranky in the morning. I know, man. I accidentally bumped into her. I went to the bathroom and I went to brush my teeth, and whoa, there she is. It was really scary. It was a scary experience. Oh my goodness. So, I hope you guys watch it. I don't want to spend too much more time on it. I thought it was great. I think all the haters, I think they were used and abused. Thanks for the clicks and the views. Thank you for the ratings and getting that up there, because everybody had to tune in to watch how horrible and how miserable we were going to fail, right? We had, I'm surprised they didn't have the pitchforks out there. I just wonder when people are going to get sick and tired of being lied to. You know what? I keep praying. But you know what? Each and every day, we get closer and closer to the real truth, right? We get closer and closer to the real truth. I'm going to keep going out there. I'm going to keep doing the stuff that we do, the stuff that makes this channel so special. Like when you come here and you watch an intro video, even if it's the shittiest intro video you've ever seen in the world, it's authentic content that this channel went out there and captured ourselves. We're out there asking questions. We're out there meeting these people. We're out there standing belly to belly with these families. We're out there having these families cry on our shoulders. We're out there neck and neck looking for their missing loved one. That is what this channel does for these victims. Don't tell me we don't help. Don't tell me we don't help. Does social media hurt? It sure can. I know I've been hurt by social media. I know my mods have been hurt by social media. I know the dangers of social media because of my experiences here. I know how dangerous it is. I've lived through it. Hi, Rain. It's nice to see you, love. Did you hear them call you a crime tourist? I'm not a crime tourist. I cover cases. There might be other people that are crime tourists, but I'm far from being a crime tourist. We go into these communities and we research. We bring out the truth, we speak the truth and we get those interviews, right? And we don't have to do it by deceptive or devious methods. Like, do you think Don Wells, let me just ask you by a show of one and twos. Do you think Don Wells knows how I feel about him? One, that he does. And two, he is absolutely clueless about how Bullhorn Betty feels about that man. Thank you, Elfig. God bless you. God bless you. By ones and twos, do you think Don Wells knows how Bullhorn Betty feels about him? Exactly. I don't have to stoop to devious methods to speak to somebody. You don't see me ever being nasty to him when I'm on the phone. You guys heard a phone call with him. I think he did something to his daughter. You don't hear me screaming at him. You hear me having an absolute conversation with him. I'm utmost respectful when I speak to people. This illusion that I just go, that's the narrative people drive when they don't know what is going on. Because I, again, don't ask permission and I don't ask for forgiveness. I don't do either. I have nobody to prove. If you guys want to watch. If you don't, have a great day. But I can tell you, made you look, right? Made you look. You know why we make people look? Because we're out there. Where are we at now? You'll never know, right? You never know. We might be, who knows? We might cover, next show, we might cover something in Canada. How do you know? You never know with Bullhorn Betty. You never know with Chronicles of Olivia. We get these wild hairs up our butt and you might wake up, we might be in Australia. You never know. Now, that costs money. Bullhorn Betty's a cheap bitch. Don't tell anybody, okay? We're not going to Australia anytime soon, okay, guys? Calm down. The crime tourist was created by media. They don't like cyber sleuths because it puts their job security in question. Yeah. We get it quicker, faster, and we have a bigger audience. Period. It's you don't hear Brian Enton or Vinnie Politan dogging the because they get it, and they're right here on the same platforms we are. And quite frankly, when you pass stuff off, right? They want to keep that communication line open. They're not going to dog people. That's what we don't like about mainstream media, right? You never know when you're going to need that interview, right? We can say a little bit about Bullhorn Betty, but she does, we may need her one day. So be okay. You never know, right? Never know. Don't say too much about Dolly Vision in the Turtle Gang, right? We don't need a bunch of angry snapper turtles. Like they get it. They've had the snapper turtles before, right? They get the hate. Brian Enton was on social media before Bullhorn Betty. I remember he was on Twitter. I tell this all the time, and I remember he had like, golly, 15,000, 20,000 people at the time. 15 or 20,000, right? He was now he's got like he's huge, right? He's huge. We watched Brian Enton grow up. I mean, he's not going to be mean to me. I was with him when he had Pampers. Right? So it's like, I'm just joking. Brian. I'm just joking. We're not going to talk about Pampers, but you know what I'm saying. We were so infant. We were in our infancy, right? We were in our infancy. And so it's really cute. Betty, buy a package of red underwear and tell Don he can have them. Oh, if he tells you what he did with summer. Oh, sorry, I didn't read the last part of that. No, I'm not. We'll have to do. You know what? One thing about Olivia, she's young. She knows she's pretty. She will let me bait her all day long. Like, I can use her for bait. We'll get her the red underwear. This is more up her alley. I think with the younger generation, Don likes the younger ones anyways. I think I'm way past his prime. Okay. I'm too old for Don Wells. So we too old. I'm just, as sick as it sounds. I'm not laughing. I'm laughing. I get sick. I think I'm too old for him. Honestly, I'm older than his wife. Too old for him. Can I get your autograph? Yes, you can. You can. Why don't you get a selfie with me, and then I'll sign the selfie. There you go. Because I miss you, right? I miss you. There's been several times I've traveled through a particular state, and I'm like, "Hey, you got lunch?" Always, nope. Pump the brakes. I'm just. I'm throwing her under the bus, making her feel guilty. Did the guilt trip work? Did it? Oh, thank you. Yes, we are trying to get the new camera right here, so we can compete with Chronicles of Olivia. I'm just joking. Her camera's far superior than this camera, but you know what? I don't do the kind of work that Olivia does. Olivia is amazing at her work, right? She's like pro level. Like, I'm down at like amateur, novice, I'm not did the guilt trip work? I'm just doing what I've learned from the old geezers, right? They when you get older, you learn reverse psychology and guilt trip. Apparently it works. They swear by it. They swear by it. Oh, and they say if that doesn't work, a little bit of bribery. So I'll buy you lunch. Now I can say I know a famous YouTuber. Aw, that's so sweet. Too, because three, right? The Three Musketeers, right? We did. I always said that I always thought we blazed a path that wasn't really there before we got here. And we're kind of pioneers for it. I think that's why we get a lot of hate, is because people don't like change. They don't like, when you get into a specific way of doing things, you don't like anybody disrupting it. I'm just not I hate being home. I hate being here. I'd rather, if I'm covering a case, I want to cover it in person, because I know I can do a heck of a lot better work in person than I can from here. Think about it. When you have a question, who do you have? Now I've got to research to find out what phone number I need to call, who I need to speak to, when I can just go down there and be like, hey, I need this, right? Or I need that, or how long is it going to take, or what do I need to fill out, or, just have the person-to-person help that you just don't get on the phone. Like, things are just 10 times more easier being there in person to kind of unravel and get to the real. You cut through all the BS because the person you're speaking with is a person that's right there. Like, you can't fake that, right? You can fake online. You can fake conversations. You can fake emails with people. You can fake a person that you're emailing. You know what I'm saying? But when you're there in person, it's kind of hard to fake a human being. Okay. And seeing them eyeball to eyeball, there's just something about it. It's so much better. Hey, Melissa, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Welcome to the Bullhorn, Betty. Crime Stories. This is a new channel for me, okay? It's the Bullhorn Betty shit show, okay?
Welcome to the shit show. Yay. I'm just joking. We actually are furthest from that, but people try to I'm actually loving this new channel. This new channel has been good. You know, we've been able to expand on this channel. We've been able to do a few other things that we didn't do on the other channel. We've got a lot. I've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. We're not done yet. We're just getting started. Guys, remember, we are just in the second month of the year, just the second month of the year. And we have got so much going on this year alone of real, authentic, boots on the ground, belly to belly stuff going on. I can tell you for the first 6 months of this year, you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised. You guys are going to love the content. You're going to love what we got going on. And we still have time for those breaking news cases that are coming up as well. So we'll be covering breaking news cases too. And if anything's on the East Coast, we're going to try to get you guys out in as many places as possible. But more importantly, there are people that are missing. And right now, we have 4 individuals right now in a 2-state area that have never been found. We have Summer Wells in Rogersville, Tennessee. Which went missing at 5 years, her 5th year. When she was 5 years old, she just had her 8th birthday. And then the bordering county, Sullivan County, Kingsport, where Summer spent the entire day at, there's 2 girls out there missing. And that is Layla Santinello, which we went out and covered quite a bit. We have a great connection with her mother. This channel has heavily supported their family. And then we have Holland Snap, which we went out and covered, not as heavily involved with her family. And, but we did cover the case and try to find answers. But there's 3 people right literally 20 minutes apart from each other that are missing. 3. And then you go over to Kentucky and you got Crystal Rogers, which has never been found. So we've got 4 beautiful women in a very small defined area that have never been seen again from 2015 to 2023. So it's a little concerning. And there's a lot more than just those. Those are just cases that are coming to my head. And we're going to be covering all of those. We were going to be, in 2 days is when Brooke Houck is going to his hearing in Bardstown, Kentucky. I was going to try to get there. But due to the budget constraints, because we ended up going to South Carolina, and I had the budget just for South Carolina, and then I decided to add Tennessee in, but we never changed the budget. So I was able to do both South Carolina and Tennessee all on the same budget. That's why I said we know how to budget the hell out of some money, because I tell you what, I'm cheap. I'm cheap. And it was the help, of Chronicles of Olivia, as well as The Real Me Too and the other people in the chat that supported I Am Team Summer, that also supported the trip. So we were able to do a lot with the budget on this trip. And did we find anything? No, not really. We haven't found really anything. I feel like all 3 of the girls that we covered on this trip, I feel like it's sad, and I get beat up because I have the feelings, because I go out there and get the feelings, right? I do the work, and I just have the feeling that they're all 3 gone, and it's sad. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just, it's sad that, you always wonder, why them, it's a process. It's a process. And like with Jennifer, it's hard to watch her, go through this struggle, go through the ups and downs. And, my mods are telling me that, some days are just really bad for her, as you can imagine, but just, we're
as you can imagine, we get a little worried, and it's expected. It's expected. It's a hard process to go through. We've seen several families go through it. I've never quite seen a family get out of it. It always seems like it's a perpetual pain that never goes away, that almost goes into perpetuity. I mean, it just never goes away, and you watch it, and it's just sad. It kind of sucks. And all you can do is just show up and be there and let them know somebody gives a damn, because there's nothing you can say or do that's going to take that misery away from them. You know, all you can do is just let them know you're there. That's it. That's it. And pray to God that maybe one of these days, you'll while you're out there, you'll be able to help them find their loved one. There's no secret sauce to being a decent person. Just be decent. When you can help, help. When you can't, get out of the way and let somebody else that can. That's how I was raised, you know? So, anyways, guys, I'm not going to spend too much time here. I've got a mess amount of work to do here. Lots of it. Paperwork and other. Plus, I haven't done any videos for today. So I got to get some videos pumped out so you guys can have something to watch the rest of the day, so you guys don't have Bullhorn Betty DTs, you know. We already have BHB DS, right? The BVD commercial of BHB. Only the old geezers in here will know what I'm meaning. Because I do everything I can in my BVDs. Where is our laughy emoji when we need it? You have no laughy button. All right, there's some people in the bushes not wanting us to know how old they are. You know it. You know it. We have a lively older crowd over here. We all know it, okay? We all know it. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll come back with a little more. I've been working on videos so much. I haven't done any research, and I'm on the borderline. There you go. There you go. So, anyways, I can't get over that. Some things just pop out of my mouth. It even cracks me up every now and again. I got to tell you, that's what's great about these live shows. You never know what you're going to get, right? You never know what you're going to get. Clip that. No. I'm just kidding. Don't forget to rock it out with your coffee beans out. If you see something, say something, because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We don't want you to have to use your BVDs, okay? We don't want you to have to use your BVDs. So be nice. Be nice to the folks. Be kind. And rock it out with your coffee beans out. Peace out.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.